Gail is here, inspired by a note I got from a friend who just moved away from Ludington Library and Bryn Mawr. She let me know that she and her daughter had just had their very first camp out in their new backyard. So it reminded me that I wanted to show you some fairy campgrounds that you can work on to invite fairies to do some camping on your porch or in your backyard. The very first campsite we have here is the Rustic Campsite. If you look here, this is the entrance. There's a lovely lichen garden growing there. If we put some water on that, it will glow in the dark. And in fairy language, it says here, camping is permitted. So you would come in through this door here. This is the Rustic Campsite. It's made of a very sturdy tea can. And we did move the tea can up so that if it rains, the water will not get into the tent. And you will notice that over here, there is the campsite with a cork camping stool so that the camper can sit and watch the fire. And remember that fairy campsites are lit by foxfire, which is also known as cold fire. It's magical fairy fire. You'll find lots of references to it. And so you can put some jewels or some tin foil in to make your foxfire. And over here is a little mirror bathing pool so that the camper can cool off on a hot day. Now, just in case there were to be a sudden rainstorm, this camper is going to have a little waterproof flap. So the tent is nice and sturdy. It's up away from the rain. And we're going to put a little parchment paper flap on here. It gives a little privacy, but it's also nice and waterproof if there should be a rain shower. So that is our first campground. It's our Rustic Campground. And as we go from the Rustic Campground over to the Glamping ground, for people who don't want to be quite as rustic, I want to let you know that there is, of course, every campsite has something that is great for kids to have fun with. And this is our little friendly flying dragon who will take small fairy children on a ride. And you can see here there are going to be shows at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and 6 p.m. And that is the helper who will help you get your turn on the flying dragon. As we move further into the fairy woods, we are going to come to the Glamping campground. Looks kind of different, very different than the Rustic Campground. And this is for fairies who really like their comforts. They want to be outdoors and see the beauty of nature, but they also like to be very comfortable. So there is a glamping tent there with a beautiful lace floor, and there's a little woven princess chair for the glamper to put her feet up and just enjoy the breeze as it goes through the marigold forest. Now, to have a little more privacy in the glamping sites, we have this attractive cherry jam sauna and spa where the beautiful fairies can have a little spa bath, but also can maintain their privacy. And if they want to sit out in the grass and the clover, they have a little awning, also matching lace in the camper. So, in case you would like to have a fairy campground at your house, or even if you were planning to do some camping in your backyard. You might camp on your porch. You might want to let the fairies camp on your porch. And the very easiest type of tent to make here is our little glamping tent. And I just need to take 3 sticks. I'm using paper straws, but you can use some little straight pieces of cardboard. You can use some wooden sticks, and you want to just make a little triangle with your sticks. Take some tape. You're going to bundle those together, and when we open them up, bend them a little bit, you're going to have that wonderful tripod, which is the oldest and most reliable way to make a building. So there is our glamping tent. We could just let her sleep on that beautiful bed of clover leaves. If you want to get a close-up look, they look pretty sweet and cool and comfortable. But I do also have a lace glamping rug for our fairy, and all I need to do is I can take a piece of cloth, I can take a piece of any kind of soft paper towel, and I'm gonna figure I need it to be about from here to the ground. I'm gonna go round and round and just get sort of a rough idea, giving myself a little bit of extra space so that if it gets chilly at night, the camper can pull those flaps around and keep the chilly breezes out. So I have here my major part of my tent, and I'm going to take the same fabric that I had, and I'm just going to cut. If you had a piece of ribbon or a piece of lace, you could use that too. You could use embroidery thread, but this is just going to attach the walls of the tent firmly to the base of the tent. And I'm going to rumple it up a little bit, make some folds here so that it's just a little bit gathered. And then I'm going to go around and around, and I'm just going to tie one nice tight knot at the top for our fairy. Hard to tie. You may have to be a little patient, and grown-ups are probably going to have to help at this point. So here I'm going to open up our tent. I'm going to sort of fluff out some of the folds here and set that right down on our lace carpet here. That doesn't go. There we go. Now, every one of the glamping sites, you'll notice, has some sort of a little cushy chair, because there's nothing that fairies like more than lying back in a comfortable chair and watching the moon rise and watching the stars as they come out, twinkling one by one. So over here I have a very small basket. This is going to be sort of a modern, sort of a mid-century modern sort of chair. And I'm going to say that this chair is going to match it's going to match the tent. We are going to give her a little lace rug to sit on while she leans back and watches the stars. Maybe she's talking to the lightning bugs. Maybe she's even having some of the lightning bugs land and sit with her. And so she may just even fall asleep for a little while in her big smooshy chair. So that is a very, very easy glamping site. And remember, you can always make your rustic site with any sturdy can that you have. Just make sure that the inside is not sharp for your fingers. But you can get a grown-up to check that out. And I see we have a really large insect is checking out the Rustic Campground right now. So happy camping, happy glamping, and look for fairies in your garden.